Did your dad fly the plane here for you guys?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
What's that like? I think it happened maybe one other time last year, but just, I mean, to the World Series of all places, how cool is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a special moment. I think he's flown us before, and it was a really special moment for him, and a lot of the guys, they loved it, and staff members, they had a really great time being able to kind of see some things they don't really get to see. And my dad was a Marine pilot, so he's like really into like aviation and explaining it to everyone, and he's not afraid to talk about it. So it's good. Everybody feels like the pilot's a little bit more personally invested into the flight, so they feel a little safer. So it was good.
And will he fly you guys back tonight or tomorrow?
Yeah, he's flying the family plane back tomorrow. Yep.
Nice.
We'll go to Zach and then Gary in the second row. Behind you, Zach.
Has he ever given you any flying lessons?
We just growing up, like we used to have like the printout of what it was like in a cockpit in my room, so we knew all the buttons and stuff, and I didn't really know what it was. I mean, we were just messing around. And then I've flown with him a few times in like smaller planes and stuff like that, and he's tried to kind of bestow his knowledge on me, but I was always baseball first. But my brother, who's 2 years older than me, is now, he used to play baseball as well, and now he's becoming a pilot. So he just got hired by airlines, and he's kind of following in the footsteps as well.
You think after baseball you might try to do that too?
No, that's a hard no on that.
Go to Gary on your left.
If I remember correctly, the last time that he flew you guys, you had some critiques for his landing.
Yeah, I think I've heard a lot of really good things about the landing. So this time, everybody said it was like the best flight they've ever been on, and they felt no turbulence. So it was all good things coming out of this one.
No critiques from you?
No critiques from me.
We'll go to John, and then we'll stay in that row.
You guys have bounced back from a lot of stuff, but what's the process? Like, is it something that Aaron says after the game? Is it something that Judge? Is it unspoken, or is it spoken kind of how you react after something like that?
I'd say it's unspoken. I think we understand that these series are potentially 7 games, and it's, obviously every game matters, but obviously when a game ending like that happens, it takes a little bit longer to process than some of the other ones. But once the night ends, it's like, we're on to the next game, and we understand that you got to be able to compartmentalize games and move on, and we know that this is going to be a long series. It's not they obviously got the first punch in, but we got a long series to go, and we understood that this was going to be a tall task and not just come in here and expect to win every single game. So we'll be ready to play tonight.
And as you get ready for your own first World Series. I mean, there's so much talk about like shutting out the noise and everything. Are there benefits you can get from the noise? Are there things that you can take from the excitement and the adrenaline in the environment?
Yeah, totally. I think, being able to use the adrenaline and kind of like the butterflies and the excitement, it can take you to another level. I think if you watch throughout the playoffs, like obviously this has been a great playoffs for all the teams and a lot of high-level games being played, and I think that's credit to hyper focus when you're in these situations and you're playing in these atmospheres. It just can take your game to another level if you let it. Now it can work on the other side as well if you let it get to you, but I try to use it as a benefit and kind of try to take the adrenaline and everything that comes with it and bring my game to another level.
And we'll stay on your far left here, Clarke.
Hey, Clarke, if I could ask you a pitching question. Between the last year and this year, you've managed to separate your cutter and slider shapes pretty distinctly. Did you make any conscious changes to separate those shapes? And do you have like cues that you're thinking of when you throw those pitches?
Yeah, I think last year was the first full year of throwing the cutter. So there was a lot of growing pains with that. I think, there was times in the year would be really, really good. And then over the course of 32 starts, you would kind of lose feel for that. And maybe you lose feel for your other pitches. So in the off season, like that was a main focus, was kind of cleaning up the shapes and making sure that I can consistently repeat them at a high level. And I think, we've done that really good this year, being able to, like you said, differentiate the slider and those are the cutter, when you throw cutters and sinkers, it's such a feel pitch that they're complete opposite. Obviously, the movement profiles are going opposite directions, but to make them move the way that they're moving, you have to. It might not look like it when you're watching it, but you have to do things different. Maybe not with your body, but with like you said, the feel of it. So sometimes if you kind of say you throw a cutter with the sinker feel, then it's not going to have that same cut. So I'd say over time with repetition and continually throwing it, and just obviously focusing in on bullpens in the off season and lives and stuff like that, we've gotten to a point where we feel very consistent with release points and the feel of being able to differentiate pitch to pitch.
Brian, third row center.
Clarke, you're going to pitch a World Series game at Yankee Stadium. When you hear that, what are your expectations for that atmosphere?
Yeah. I mean, it's a dream come true. I think. Being able to pitch the first game at home and a pivotal game. And this has kind of been, I've always dreamed of stuff like this. And it's just been better than my dreams so far. Like everything is kind of blown it out of the water, expectations and stuff like that. And I'm obviously very excited to get out there. And but I know that I have a job to do. And we're trying to win this World Series. And I think, for me, I'm just trying to go out there and execute and do my job, but obviously very excited, and I'm trying to do my best to take as much in without trying to, I'm trying to be as present as I possibly can. So there'll probably be a time of reflection when this is all over, but for right now, just very focused on my job.
Ron, right up front, Clarke.
As the Game 3 starter, do you go back ahead of the team, or do you go with them tomorrow?
I'm gonna travel with the team, stick with the guys. Yep.
And you mentioned your brother. What's his name and age?
Clarke Schmidt, and he is 30 years. He's 2 years older than me.
C-L-E-T-E?
A-T-E, yep.
C-L-A-T-E?
Yep, yeah.
Hey, Jazz. Yesterday, Aaron said in talking about you that maybe less could be a little more. You go on to have 2 hits, big game last night. Did you feel like you were trying to do too much? Was there anything you changed going into yesterday?
I would just say I worked on my mechanics a little bit with the hitting coaches over the little break that we had, and feel pretty good after working on a couple of mechanics.
Anything in particular you changed?
Just keeping my hands closer to me. I think my hands were getting away from me, and it was making me pull off the ball a lot. And I think even in my first 2 at-bats yesterday, my hands still got away from me, and just cleaned it up in the last 3.
Questions? I'll go to Clinton. 4th row on your right, Jazz.
You had quite the night on the base pass. What's your attitude out there in terms of base to base? What you're thinking? What advantage you can bring when you're running?
I feel like I'm in scoring position from I'm on first base. I don't think about steals being the only way I can score. Ball hitting the gap, scoring from first base, just being able to just keep on going. And reading the ball and reading the play. Keeping everybody on their feet. Making sure everybody's awake out there,
The 2nd row on your left, Jazz. Chris?
Jazz, before coming to the Yankees, you hadn't played third base on any level before. What do you feel like has allowed you to have the success you've had at that position?
I played shortstop my whole career before I got to the big leagues, and a little bit in the big leagues as well. I think outfield was the first time I really felt like not as comfortable as I can feel on a baseball field, but moving back into the infield, I feel as comfortable as I've always been on the infield.
Go to Max in front here.
Jazz, where do your base running skills come from? Were you always stealing bases when you were a kid growing up? Would you credit any coach to?
I was always stealing bases as a kid growing up, but just watching the game, seeing the way other players move, the way they pitch, the way the catchers move, the position players move when it's not a pickoff or something like that. It's just watching everybody's overall game. You could even see it. You could even peek in the outfield, with the pitch comms nowadays, they tell you when to pick off. So when they're picking off, some guys get a little bit lazier, so you already know they're picking off. Some guys try to get a little antsy to make you, it's just reading the game, reading people's personalities and what they do on the field.
We'll go to Gabe, 4th row on your right.
Hey, Jazz. When they changed the stolen base rules, the disengagements and all that stuff, did you have a feeling that the stolen base would kind of explode the way it has, or are you a bit surprised at how how big a part of it's been and how successful you guys have been on the base pass?
I mean, I felt like, yeah, it was going to be a difference because, you know, now you have slower guys that are going to steal bases now because it's less pickoffs. Some guys pick off like twice, once, whenever. Now a guy could get a bigger lead. He's gone. So I feel like, yeah, it has changed the game, but I feel like it made it a lot more funner. I think catchers are even enjoying the games a little bit more, you know, because they get to try and throw guys out. So I feel like it's just enjoyment for everybody, you know. Bigger guys, slower guys get to try and steal bags now. You know, they're having fun out there. I think that's cool.
And is it only fair that it keeps pitchers honest? Like, they're so nasty that, hey, it's a little more fair for you guys to take an extra 90.
For sure. I mean, everybody's throwing 100 now, so you got to give us something, you know.
We'll stay over there with Clinton.
Jazz, what are the vibes like back in the Bahamas now with all your boys, you know, in terms of your home nation, seeing you doing this on such a big stage?
They've been in and out during the playoffs, you know. They've been flying in, flying out. A couple of them are super busy, so. But I think the vibes have been great, man, you know, especially playing for the Yankees. This is who we used to watch as kids, so, like, everybody's just, like, geeking out. They see Judge in person, and they're like, bro, it's Judge, you know. It's kind of cool. It's super cool.
Fourth row on your left, Jazz. Jorge.
Jazz, you've talked about, you know, playing for the Yankees, playing at Yankee Stadium, the atmosphere. How would you describe that atmosphere last night?
Oh, it was sick. It was a good atmosphere. I feel like the crowd was rocking. The stadium was rocking. I mean, if you're a baseball fan, you really enjoyed that game last night. It was a really good game. I enjoyed being a part of that game. You know, man, I mean, it was super cool. I feel like it's pretty close to Yankee Stadium, if you ask me.
A third row on your left, Tyler.
Jazz, what has made the Yankees a comfortable fit for you?
I feel like as a kid and even as a professional baseball player that before you play for the Yankees, you think it's really like super strict, but you really can be yourself as a Yankee. You just got to do it the right way and the professional way, and I feel like I've always been like that, doing it the professional way. It's just that I think now that I'm with the Yankees, people see it like, okay, if he's not getting in trouble, he's more professional because he's with the Yankees, but I'm still doing the exact same thing I used to do with the Marlins. So I think they just let me be me and enjoying the moment and every moment that I'm a Yankee.
We'll stay over there on the left.
Hey, Jazz. Did you see something in Trinan's delivery that let you take off with such ease for third base there in the 10th?
Like I said, I study players, I study pitchers. Running is a part of my game. So, like I said, I've been watching Trinan since I was a Marlin, playing against him as a Marlin. So I've seen him a lot of times. I've been on base a couple of times. So I just read his game. He knows how I play, so I just try to change it up, see how it was going, and it just went the right way.
Far back on your right, Jazz. Jeff.
Jazz, what allows this team to come back from a gut punch loss like last night?
I think we've been doing it all year, you know, so I feel like nothing has changed between us and our clubhouse, you know. We still feel like we got this in the bag, you know, not like, how would I say, not cocky, but like, you know, we feel confident in ourselves to go out there and win 4 games, you know. But I mean, for me, I just feel like we're going to go out there and play baseball. We're enjoying the moment just as much as them. After that loss, I don't feel like the clubhouse was quiet. We were talking amongst each other and saying, like, hey, that was a fun baseball game. Let's go do it again tomorrow, you know, but let's come on top tomorrow. So, you know, it's amazing.
Fourth row right in the middle, Dan.
Jazz, have you reached out to or Miguel Rojas, or have you guys connected at all with him being on the other side?
No.
Do you feel like that's part of the past now, or is that something?
I mean, like I said, I have nothing about it. You know, I go out there, I play baseball, and I'm enjoying baseball. Nothing more, nothing less.